I wrote an article recently about sort of Stoic approach to the COVID-19 situation, and I think it's helpful at two levels. First of all, because it actually does have a number of practical suggestions, which are evidence-based, science-based. But more broadly, it's a good explanation, I think, or a clear explanation of how the Stoic system works. So Stoicism, as I said, it's a philosophy, it's a philosophical system, so it has components. In particular, it has three components that are supposed to interact with each other. What the Stoics call the physics, the logic, and the ethics. Now, all those three terms need to be understood in a much broader sense than the English words, the current English words. Physics, for instance, just doesn't mean that we're studying quantum mechanics, as interesting as that is. It means, physics really means all of the natural sciences as well as metaphysics. So it's that account of how the world works that I was talking about earlier. Logic, it's not just about formal logic and logical fallacies and things like that, although it does include that. It's anything that has to do with improving human reasoning, okay? Anything that helps improving human reasoning. And ethics is not just understood in terms of, what is the right thing to do or what is the wrong thing to do. Is this action right or wrong or something like that? But it literally is the study of how to live your life. Now, according to the Stoics, ethics should be informed by sound logic and sound physics, meaning that in order to figure out how you live your life to the best abilities of a human being, you have to reason correctly, or as correctly as possible, and you have to know the facts as much as possible. You have to know how things work. So in the case, for instance, of the COVID-19 pandemics, well, the physics will tell you, inform yourself, but inform yourself from reliable sources, not from, so I tell my students, for instance, I'm teaching this semester a course on the science and philosophy of happiness. And of course, we moved everything online now. So in fact, to Thursday, I'm going to be doing the first fully online lecture for the course. And one of the things that I told immediately to my students is, don't pay any attention, quit social media if you can. Don't pay any attention to Facebook, Twitter, and all that sort of stuff. It's true that there is some good information there. It's not like it's not all bad, but it is so much garbage. The ratio of garbage to good information is so high that it's like you're just going to scare yourself and get into anxiety. Just quit it. I said also, frankly, if I were you, I wouldn't pay much attention to either the standard news, certainly not as much as people do. You don't need a 5-minute to 5-minute update on the pandemics. If you read maybe one article or you listen to 5 minutes on the radio a day, that's plenty, because there's not a lot of actionable information. No. A lot of what you hear in the news is stuff you can't do anything about. Oh, the markets are plummeting. What am I supposed to do about that? Nothing. So now I'm just going to worry about my retirement account, right? Why should I worry about my retirement account? It's not that I can do anything about it. I can't take the money out. It's there. So whatever is going to be left after this mess is over, then we'll deal with it. But right now, to just follow the market every up and down, minute by minute, that's not helpful. Even when it is, in fact, good information, it's just not helpful. So the Stoics would say, inform yourself, but only about when it is appropriate and from good sources, and then think. Reason about what it is that you learn. Right? So ask yourself, okay, out of all of this, what kinds of things can I actually do in order to improve my life, in order to minimize the damage of whatever the situation is? Those are the things we should concern about. Everything else, shut it out, because it's not only it's not helpful, it's actually probably arguably harmful. So you want to use social media, new technologies, great. So I just had a conversation this morning with via email with a number of friends, and we're starting to do virtual aperitivo. So aperitivo is the Italian word for, you get together for a drink and an appetizer.
Yes,
at a
yes.
bar. Well, bars are all closed, restaurants are closed, so you can't do that. So what we decided is to use, technology like Skype, Zoom, things like that, and we'll just for an hour an evening, we can just open up this stuff and cheer each other, chat, have a look at each other, because people have a tendency, of course, these days to just talk by text messaging, and that's great for keeping in touch. But it's important to actually see other people,
yes,
live and interact and talk to other people. So there is a very good use of technology that you can do given this situation. But people tend to focus, unfortunately, on the stuff that either it's not useful or in fact it's harmful, and that's not good. Just think differently, retrain yourself, thinking differently, act differently from what you used to, and your life will be better.